Your grandfather bought a Bajaj scooter in 1985. He paid 7,000 rupees for it. He saved for 3 years, paid in cash, and kept it for 15 years since then. When he sold it, he got 4,000 rupees back. Coming to you. You bought an iPhone 15 Pro for 1.5 lakh for no cost EMIs that you will be paying for 24 months. Sounds smart, right? But 1 year later, your phone's worth is 75,000 rupees. But you still owe 82,000 rupees. You owe more than your phone is actually worth. You can't sell it, you can't upgrade, you can't escape. And 2 years later, although your loan is cleared, you've paid around 1.8 lakh rupees after hidden charges. Your phone is now worth 40,000 rupees. You've actually lost 1.4 lakh rupees in 2 years. And you're not alone. Right now, over 15 crore Indians are in the same trap, paying EMIs on phone, TVs, laptops, etc. But the thing is, India was not a country of spenders. It was actually a country of savers. But then how did this shift happen? And how did India's middle class actually end up falling in the largest debt trap? Well, if you're interested in knowing this, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to break down in this episode of FinShots TV. FinShots TV is a part of Zerodha 01 network, and together we plan on bringing you stories that impact your day-to-day lives, sometimes without you realizing it. So do like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Hey guys, if you like our work at FinShots, do consider checking out Ditto. Ditto is our sister company and they are trying to make insurance simpler for people like you and me. If you're thinking of reviewing your insurance needs, why don't you book a free call with Ditto Insurance's IRDAI certified advisors? The link is in the description. Alright, let's start with the bigger question. When did India stop saving? When did we start buying before we actually saved? Because for decades, that was not a part of our behavior. We saved first, bought later. Not because we were disciplined, but mostly because there was no other choice. In the 1980s and 1990s, credit barely existed. Banks didn't hand it out. There was no personal loan for TVs, scooters, cell phones or telephones. There were no credit cards unless you were from the ultra-rich category. If you wanted something, you saved for it. Then came 1991, the economic liberalization of India. LG, Samsung, Sony, big shot electronic companies have come into India with their shiny product. But there's still no credit, so Indians are still saving to buy these electronic goods. Back then, our savings were around 20 to 22% of our GDP. This is one of the highest in the world. Then something changed. This happened between 2020 and 2050. And one company that led this disruption was Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance had cracked the code. They realized that Indians wouldn't walk into a bank to take a loan for a television. It's too much hassle, it's too much paperwork, it's a lot of shame too. But they would click on a buy now option if you made it instant. You made it paperless and you called it a no-cost EMI. So Bajaj started setting up EMI terminals right inside your electronic stores like Croma, Reliance Digital, Vijay Sales. You pick the television, just swipe your card, get your loan approved within minutes. You walked out with a new television. It didn't feel like a loan. It actually felt like any other form of payment. By 2015, Bajaj Finance had over 25,000 retail touchpoints. Their loan book exploded from just 5,000 crores to 50,000 crores in just 5 years. Then e-commerce weaponized this. Flipkart's Big Billion Day sale in 2015 rolled out the no-cost EMI option on everything. Conversion rates went up 300%. And then Amazon copied it. And since then, every platform has tried to copy it. And then, after the COVID pandemic, things became even more crazy. You could buy now, pay later. Companies like Simple, EasyPay, ZestMoney started propping up. Now, you could finance a 2,000 rupee purchase too. And the result was that India's household debt to GDP ratio jumped from just 11% in 2012 to 38% in 2024. We've tripled our debt in just 12 years, and our savings have collapsed from 23% to just 5.1% of GDP. That's the lowest in 47 years. Indians are suddenly becoming reckless spenders. The system was redesigned to extract our savings one EMI at a time. The thing about EMIs is that they don't make expensive things affordable. They actually make expensive things seem financeable. You're not just paying hidden interest. you're actually financing assets that lose value faster than you pay them off. Your grandfather borrowed things that he genuinely wanted to utilize that would actually improve his living standards. These things appreciated, like a scooter, gold, a home loan, etc. You are borrowing for things that depreciate: cell phones, laptops, televisions. According to CIBIL data, if you have one consumer EMI, you are 3.5 times more likely to take another one in 2 years. You know why? Because each EMI reduces your cash flow, which means you can't save for the next purchase, which means the next purchase also goes on EMI. Let's say you earn 1 lakh rupees per month. This is after tax. Your rent is around 25,000, essentials are around 15,000. Then you have loans on your cell phone, on your laptop, on the new PS5 that you bought, and then there's another sale and you are tempted to buy something. But then you realize all your EMIs are actually eating into the money you have. You don't have enough to save. This is what a debt spiral is called. RBI data shows that average urban middle class household now has 2.7 active consumer loans. And households with consumer EMIs have 35% lower savings than similar households without EMIs. The trap works. But the thing is, who designed this trap? Who is making money while you are trapped? Well, retailers love EMI. Customers on EMI spend 50 to 70% more than cash buyers would. The same person, same income group. If there's an EMI in the mix, the expensive thing would feel more affordable. And retailers get paid upfront. There's zero risk for them. And the real winner is actually the finance company who extracts the interest from you. Bajaj Finance grew from a 5,000 crore loan book company in 2010 to a 3 lakh crore loan book company in 2024. That's a 60x growth in just 14 years. Today, they're India's most valuable NBFC, worth more than 5 lakh crore rupees. Their profit margins for consumer loans is around 8 to 12%. Compare this to banks who only make 3 to 4% on home loans. That's because Bajaj Finance charges 14 to 24% effective interest, hidden with markups and fees. Everyone wins. Retailers, finance companies, brands. Everyone wins, except you. So what does this actually mean for India? Household savings rate has collapsed from 23% in 2011 to 5.1% in 2023. That's 18% of our GDP just gone in EMIs. Right now, 15 crore Indians pay an average of 15,000 rupees per month in consumer EMIs. That's 2.7 lakh crore rupees annually going to debt instead of investments. So, is there even a way out? Well, there is. Just try to reject everything the system pushes at you. We've actually tried to come up with 5 rules around this. Never take a loan on a depreciating asset. This essentially means don't buy an asset which loses its value over time, because you will end up paying your loan on the amount at which you bought the asset and not at the current value of the product. Rule number 2 is that if you can't buy it in cash twice, you can't afford it once. So don't buy it. Rule number 3 is calculate the total cost, not the monthly cost. Multiply the EMI to tenure. If it's more than 10% above cash price, just walk away. Rule number 4 is delay all lifestyle expenses by 2 years. If your phone works, just use it. If your laptop works, just use it. Don't spend money on it. Rule number 5 is never trust a financing program that starts with no cost, because there's no free money for anyone. Now, this might sound more philosophical than just financial conversations, but our previous generations delayed gratification and built ownership and wealth. We are getting instant gratification and permanent debt. And it's a trap. What's your take on this? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to FinShots TV for more.